What is up, YouTube? This is Brother Joshua bringing you another video. We're going to do something a little different today because we're starting our new segment known simply as ABT. Most of y'all already know me. I'm Brother Joshua, but today I'm going to have reading for me Brother Gideon, aka Brother Gideon. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What's up, everybody?
That's good. That's good. You know, Gideon gonna be reading for me today. We're gonna be dealing with a topic that I feel really needs to be addressed because since we're in the age of social media, you have a lot of people who likes to go out of their way to just try to scare the living daylights out of you. You got all these crazy conspiracy theories out there. You got people keep trying to predict the end of the world, and they're trying to make you believe that your destruction and the destruction of this world and as everything as we know is imminent. So I decided to do this particular class titled, Are You a Fear Monger? That's right. We're going to deal with you today. Are you a fear monger? And we're going to go right into this and we're going to look up the definition of the word fear monger. We're going to go to dictionary.cambridge.org. Gideon, if you can read that definition for me, please. For fear mongering. We're going to look up fear mongering. What is fear mongering, Gideon?
Fear mongering. The action of intentionally trying to make people afraid of something when this is not necessary or reasonable.
Notice what it said. Fear mongering is the action of intentionally, meaning you're trying to do this, trying to make people afraid of something when this is not necessary or reasonable. And that's what you see today, sisters and brothers. A lot of people fear mongering. And the sad truth is, most people who are doing the fear mongering identify as a Christian. Christians love to fear monger. So you need to ask yourself, are you a fear monger? Do you intentionally and unnecessarily and unreasonably spread fear? That's why you got a lot of these people making all these videos, Gideon, with all these conspiracy theories. Always got you worried. You know, they did the same thing with the vaccinations and even with that nationwide Amber Alert.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
is trying to scare you to death unnecessarily, right? And we're going to show you from the scriptures that as believers, as Christians, not only are we not supposed to be spreading fear unnecessarily, but we're also not supposed to be walking around here afraid. So now let's go to Proverbs chapter 12. We're going to read Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 25 because this is very straightforward. We're not going to spend too much time on this because it's pretty direct. We just want you to see if you are a fear monger. Because you got a lot of people, they go to all these YouTube sites where all of these people are giving all these crazy conspiracies. And all they do is they watch this stuff 24/7 and they share it with their friends and families. And they walking around in a state of fear, anxiety, and delusion 24/7. And I know everybody heard about that incident that happened at the mall. What was that in Miami, Gideon? What
Yeah,
did happen at?
with the alien.
Right, allegedly, or the giant, right? Even though nothing has been confirmed officially, you got all these people walking around here scared out of their minds. And people try to fearmonger. They think fearmongering, Christians, they think fearmongering is doing the work of the Lord, Gideon.
They
That's
really
the
do.
sad part about it. We're not supposed to be doing that. Now, that doesn't mean that if something dangerous that we know is about to happen, we shouldn't tell people. And it does not mean that it's wrong to be afraid of real danger. But a lot of people are spreading fear about things they can't even confirm. They're just scaring you to be scaring you. You are a fear monger. So what we're going to do again, Proverbs chapter 12, Gideon, read please.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 25. Heaviness in the heart of a man maketh stoop, but a good word maketh glad.
It said, heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop. You know, stoop like you're squatting down or you're low. It said, but a good word maketh it glad. What kind of good word? Encouragement. But what does it mean when it says heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop? What we're going to do is read this in another translation. We're going to read Proverbs 12 and 25 in the NIV, New International Version. Read that, please, Gideon, when you pull it up.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 25 in the NIV. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up.
Notice what it said. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a good word will cheer it up. And see, this is what fearmongers do. They want to spread fear, anxiety, so it can weigh down the heart. When the Bible talks about your heart being weighed down or being heavy, that means that you are in a state of being worried. You're in a constant state of fear. You cannot function like that, sisters and brothers. Fearmongers cripple people because cripples. And all these people want to do is spread fear and have you as a believer walking around afraid of your own shadow. You think everything is a conspiracy. You think everybody is out to get you. You are a paranoid. And it's Christians who are doing this. They're trying to spread fear and anxiety to make your heart heavy, to make your heart stoop, right? But what we're going to do is go back to dictionary.cambridge.org, and we're going to look up the definition of the word anxiety. When you get there, Gideon, read that for the good people.
This is anxiety in the Cambridge Dictionary. An uncomfortable feeling of nervousness or worry about something that is happening or might happen in the future.
Look what it said. Anxiety. And some people clinically suffers from anxiety. But it says it's an uncomfortable feeling of nervousness or worry about something that is happening or might happen in the future. So what fearmongers do intentionally, that's what it said, didn't it, Gideon? They deliberately intentionally do this, right?
Intentionally.
Right. What they do, or what they're trying to do, is intentionally make you feel uncomfortable or nervous or worry about something that is happening or might happen in the future. And they love to do that future one too. They love to tell you, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. We're not saying that you're a fear monger if you're just telling people what prophecy says is going to happen. And yes, you should be afraid of that because prophecy talks about a lot of scary stuff. But when you start spreading fear about stuff that cannot be confirmed, rumors, in other words, conspiracy theories that you cannot prove, you are a fear monger. That's what you are. And you think you're helping the people, but all you're doing is causing people to worry unnecessarily.
And when they're wrong, they don't even apologize.
Right. And when they're wrong, they don't apologize. They don't retract videos. They just continue trying to scare you with something else, something new. And that's the spirit of fear. Satan operates in the spirit of fear. We're going to see that that's not how the Most High works. That's not how God works. That's why every time you turn around, Gideon, you got somebody, oh, look at what they're doing here. Look what they're doing in North Korea. Look what they're doing in the White House. Oh, we have an Amber Alert. We get Amber Alerts all the time. But we're going to do a statewide Amber Alert test. And somehow that is related to the COVID vaccination. Because you got clinically insane people spreading fear. See, there are people who suffer from anxiety clinically, and that's no shot at y'all. You know, it's a medical condition. Nobody's going to ever condemn you for having a medical condition or a mental issue, right? But the problem is you got people who suffer from anxiety as Christians, as conspiracy theorists. They jump on social media and they make videos and they fearmonger. And we eat it up, and then we're walking around here scared out of our wits' ends. And then you turn around and you further spread the fear. And you think that's the gospel. You think you're sharing the gospel. because all you're doing is spreading fear about something that you cannot confirm. You got people walking around here thinking that if they do a statewide or a nationwide test involving your cell phones and your cell phone is on, you're going to drop dead or something.
They said that about the 5G too. People still rocking
Exactly.
3G.
Right. You got all this unnecessary fear mongering going on. That's what Satan does. Satan wants you walking around here scared out of your mind. Because as we read in Proverbs 12 and 25, heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop. If you have a heavy heart, sisters and brothers, you cannot function. That means your mind is not going to function. You will not have a sound mind. You will not be able to focus. You will not be able to concentrate because you will be in a constant state of anxiety. That's what Satan wants. All of these Christians thinking they're doing you a favor by spreading a bunch of scary rumors about things they cannot confirm, all obsessed with these conspiracy theories. You are fear mongers. That's what you are. You're a fear monger. You want everybody scared because you scared. That's what you like to do. People say misery loves company, Gideon, and that's true. But anxiety loves company too. See, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that when you're scared, you want people to be scared with you. No, if I'm scared about something, Gideon, I want you to try to calm me down. I want you to encourage me. Do you know why they call it encourage, Gideon?
Nah.
Because you're putting courage in somebody.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that.
You can look at the etymology of it. It's like enlighten. You're putting light in somebody. We don't think about stuff like this. All we want to do is scare the hell out of each other. That's what we want to do. You follow what I'm saying?
Use off of it too. And when they be wrong, they just go to the next thing in the news.
Exactly. Because see, people say sex sells, which is true, but fear sells too. Fear sells, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're spreading fear. They want us all to be afraid because we can't function. Now, every little thing we see, we think it's a sign of something bad. Every little thing, because we're losing our minds, right? We're walking around here afraid of our own shadows. Everything making us jump. Every news report. I remember when 9/11 happened, Gideon. Do you know how many people who didn't have a single care in the world about what I had to say about the Bible were hitting me up that day? Is this Bible prophecy being fulfilled? Gosh, I was like, no, it's just some crazy terrorists. That's all I see.
It's not funny, but man, that's
but it's the truth.
Airplane be a Bible prophecy.
Right. They want to know. Right. Is it no? And that's another thing the fear mongers to do, Gideon. When we see anything happen, we want to make it, oh, that is a sign of the end. No, Kim Jones is talking about nuclear warheads. Oh, it's a sign of the end. A bunch of fear mongers. And that's the reason why a lot of people can't concentrate to really understand the word, Gideon, because they're too afraid.
You go down those rabbit holes, they don't be in their word.
Exactly. Why do you think a lot of people can't understand the word? Have you ever been so nervous about something that you couldn't concentrate? You ever had a test that you was about to take in school and you were so nervous that you couldn't concentrate and you failed the test?
Yeah.
There are a lot of intelligent people who have failed tests because they're bad test takers, and they're bad test takers because tests make them nervous. They're all anxious. This is what fear mongers do. They want to cripple you with fear, right? But now that we see what anxiety is, let's move on. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 40.
This is Sirach, chapter 40, verse 1. Great travail is created for every man, and heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, from the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Now look what it said. It said great travail, that means like pain or suffering or trouble, is created for every man, and in heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, meaning that we have to work, and we have to work hard, to keep this world going. And it tells you how long from the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day they return to the mother of all things. Read verse 2.
Their imagination of things to come and the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
Now look what it says. It said their imagination, meaning their thoughts of things to come, letting you know that it's natural. It's natural for you to feel this way. And the day of death, you know, your death, trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart. So I'm letting you know it's natural for you to be afraid about things to come in the future. That's natural, Gideon. Mm-hmm. And the day of death, you know, worried about dying or the death of a loved one. That's natural. Then it tells you trouble their hearts and cause fear of heart. That's everybody. Sisters and brothers, there's nothing wrong with you inherently for being that way. But let me show you what the Bible says about a believer, because you're supposed to change your way of thinking about these things when you become a believer. Skip down, please, Gideon, and read verses 6 to 8.
This is Sirach chapter 40, verse 6. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle.
God is describing mankind. It said a little or nothing is his rest. He gets little to no rest. It's going to tell you why. Look what it says. And afterward, he is in his sleep. So when he does get a little sleep, look how he sleeps, as in a day of keeping watch. So he can't sleep because he's so afraid. So he keeps waking up thinking somebody looking for him. He paranoid. That would mean to keep him watch. He can't even sleep. Then it says, troubled by what? In the vision of his heart, meaning his mind. He's troubled by what he sees in his mind. Doesn't that sound like somebody who's paranoid?
Yeah.
Gideon?
Yeah. Sounds like me after a scary movie.
Right. Then it says, as if he were escaped out of a battle. In other words, it was like he just went to war and he barely escaped with his life, and he thinks position still chasing him. So he can't sleep, right? He keeps waking up thinking somebody's out to get him. This is what fearmongers do. They want to have you like this, Gideon.
Yeah.
And Christians are the number one fearmongers. Go ahead, what you say, Gideon?
I was saying they want you like this because you're always going to come back to figure out what's next happening.
Right. They have you in a constant state of fear. And you got people always sharing these websites. Ooh, look what they're doing here, sharing it with you. And I always ask people, Gideon, okay, you shared it with me. You may want me to share it with someone else. Okay. Here's the real question though, Gideon. What can I do about it?
Not a single thing.
Not a single thing. You know, Kim Jones, he's supposed to be, you know, doing this over here, and this is going on in Russia. And okay, so what am I supposed to do? I'm serious. I'll tell you like that, like, okay, I mean, I don't mind just knowing what's going on in the world, but you're spreading this to me like I'm supposed to be able to stop it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's how they be.
What you want me to do? Fly over there like some kind of superhero and just shut down the operation? I can't stop it. You can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? You over here worried about something that you can't do anything about, and you want everybody else to be worried with you.
Yeah.
We don't even think about these kind of things. You can't even go on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok without somebody throwing some kind of scary conspiracy theory at you. You notice they never provide any solutions. Just fear. That's all they got to offer you is fear. If all you got to offer me is fear, you can keep it. If you don't have a solution behind the fear that you're spreading, keep it to yourself. Because all you want to do is make me heavy of heart. You want to spread your anxiety. And a lot of you, and this is not any thing personal, but a lot of you who know you clinically suffer from anxiety, you need to stop making videos. You need to sit down somewhere because you know you're scared. If you know you have a condition, this is not against anybody who suffers from this, because you know we all dealing with something. But if you know you have been diagnosed with anxiety, until you can get that out under control, you need to stay off of social media.
Oh, true.
Because you can make other people develop anxiety. Yes, anxiety can develop. You've heard of PTSD.
Yeah.
You heard of that. That ain't something you born with.
You know the crazy thing, Brother Josh? When people first get in their Bibles, I say 4 out of 10 people, they go down those conspiracy rabbit holes every time I see it. Once they first get into the word, it's like a conveyor belt to send you down that rabbit hole. And they don't end up the same. They don't even be reading their Bible no more. They're telling you about NASA's doing this, rays coming this way. And it's like they lose focus on the real goal, which is salvation. And now they're out here just telling you about everything, but no solutions, no nothing. And then, you know, they just end up going crazy.
And they're doing the devil's work. You don't even understand that. You're working for the devil if all you do is spread fear. Fear about stuff you can't confirm and fear about stuff you can't change. What is the purpose of that? You want me to be afraid. That's it. I take great offense to that, Gideon. I do. Now, if it's something that I can change or stop and you tell me, I appreciate that because you're really trying to help me. But if all you're trying to do is show me something that's going to make me afraid that I cannot stop, I take great offense to that. And you should too. The next time somebody show you something, if they share it to you, hey, check out this video right here, and it's something scary and they know you can't do anything about it, don't get mad at first. Just ask them, okay, what do you expect me to do about this? Oh, I'm just giving you a heads up. No, you're not. A heads up means a warning. A warning is supposed to make you be able to avoid something. So that's not a heads up. Why are you giving me this? Oh, you just trying to make me have anxiety. You want me walking around here scared. Why would you do that to a friend? Why would you do that? You trying to cripple me. You supposed to be my friend? Now, if there's something I can prevent and you tell me, praise God. But if there's nothing I can do, why are you sending this to me? I thought you liked me. I thought you loved me. There are things, Gideon, that I have had happen to me that I did not even tell my mom because nothing happened. Like it was a close call. Nothing happened though. So I said to myself, yo, if nothing happened, why should I tell her?
Yeah.
My mother is 71 years old. Why would I try to tell my mama something that's going to make her worry unnecessarily when I didn't get hurt? Nobody got hurt. Who was involved? Why would I go tell her that? I love my mother. I'm not going to try to give her anxiety. And some of y'all parents are the same way. If you just tell your mother or your father about a close call, Gideon, they might have a heart attack. Some people, parents are like that. We don't even think about that type of stuff. Do you really need to tell them this? Did you get hurt? No. Did anybody get hurt? No. Can it be avoided in the future? Yep. Keep it to yourself. But we like to worry each other unnecessarily, and then we get mad at people when they tell us, "Look, man, stop sending me all of this stuff. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. Heck, you don't even know if it's even confirmed officially yet. You're scared of a theory. You're scared of a rumor." Like, seriously, Gideon, if North Korea launches nukes at America, what can Brother Josh do to prevent it?
Not a single thing.
Nothing. So why are you telling me about it? Do I look like a secret agent to you that I'm going to go over there, infiltrate North Korea, and shut down their operation from the inside? Do I look like that? No. Do I look like Invincible, Goku, Superman, anybody who could just fly over there and just shut it down? No, I'm just another guy like you. So why are you telling me this as if I can change it?
You have that spirit of anxiety on you.
They're trying to spread your anxiety to me. I take great offense to that. You're trying to hurt me. You're trying to drive me crazy. You're trying to make me a paranoid. We don't think of it like that. I'm not saying we're not supposed to give each other heads ups, on things that's going on in the world, right? We're not saying you're not supposed to raise awareness. And sometimes when you raise awareness, there's going to be some scary stuff. But if all you got for me is a bunch of unconfirmed conspiracy theories that we can't validate or prove, then you are mentally unstable. You are unhinged, and you're trying to make other people just like you. You want all of us to be a quivering mess, a quivering mess, just in a balled up in a state of fear. That's not how we're supposed to be. But you're going to read something, Gideon, that's going to show you what kind of people are always in a state of anxiety and trying to spread it. Read verse 7 and 8, though. But verse 7 first, please. Read that.
When all is safe, he awaketh and marveleth that the fear was nothing.
When all is safe, he wakes up and is surprised that the fear was nothing. You know, like a lot of y'all after they did that nationwide Amber Alert, when it was over, y'all was like, there was nothing to fear. You're shocked. Nothing happened. Nothing at all. But we're walking around here afraid. We're spreading fear. Now, that doesn't mean these people who do this don't have good intentions, Gideon. If they're warning you, I'm not mad at somebody for thinking they're warning me about something that can protect me. But at the same time, if there's nothing to worry about, now you're just making me afraid for no reason. And that stuff takes toll. It adds up. But what kind of people behave this way? Because you might learn something about yourself. Read verse 8.
Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners.
Look what it said. Such things happen unto all flesh. Like I said, all of us worry about the future, worry about dying, just worry in general. We're all afraid about that stuff. That's natural. And it says it happens both to man and beast. But notice what it says here, Gideon. And that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Mm-hmm. So if you're not living right, that's the reason why you're always walking around here scared all the time. All these people spreading these conspiracy theories, you know why they're walking around here scared? Because they still in sinning, Gideon. They know they ain't living right. That's why they're always afraid. It said sevenfold more upon sinners. In other words, sinners worry about these things 7 times as much as the average person. You're telling on yourself, in other words. You're not living right. That's why you're walking around here anxious and afraid. Because if you were living right, you'd have confidence in the Lord. We're going to read that. You have no confidence. You have no courage. And no one can encourage you because you're not living right. And again, I'm not talking about somebody who clinically suffers from anxiety, because that has nothing to do with how you're living. I'm talking about people in a right state of mind. And a lot of y'all, you think you're in the right state of mind, you might need to go get checked, because you'll probably be walking around here undiagnosed. I be telling people on social media all the time, look, man, that's an incredible amount of anxiety you got. You seem a little mentally unstable to me. A lot of people need to go schedule an appointment with their doctor and see if they may suffer from some kind of anxiety, because a lot of y'all do. And that's okay if you do. You know, it can be managed. It really can. But if you have not been diagnosed and you're always walking around here scared, maybe it's because you know you're not living right. And that sevenfold more upon sinners apply to you. If every little thing is making you jump, oh, I saw this other day, Josh. Oh, they said this on the news last night, Josh. Let me jump on social media and tell everybody else, even though it's happening on the other side of the planet. Really? Something happened on the other side of the planet? It can't even reach me. But you want to scare me with it. You want me checking under my bed every night before I go to sleep, right? You want me opening my closet, looking for the boogeyman. That's what a fearmonger does. And it's working. And social media is the best place to do it. It's the ultimate, Gideon, and I know you can relate to this, it's the ultimate kind of trolling. That's what it is. But let's move on. Let's go still in Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. Let's go to chapter 34. This is how we conquer this, though.
This is Sirach, chapter 34, verse 13. The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them.
It said the spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live. And when it says fear, it means fear in the sense of both reverence and actually fearing the Lord. Or we can show you that in another class, right? And it says, for their hope is in him that saveth them. See, we hope in the Lord that save us. We're not walking around here in a state of fear. We're not supposed to be. But read verse 14, Gideon. Watch what it says.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear, nor be afraid, for he is his hope.
Read that again, Gideon.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope.
One more time, but read it very slowly for the slow.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall
Uh-huh.
not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope.
Gideon, do you fear the Lord?
Yes, sir.
Do you think I fear the Lord?
Yes, sir.
If you ask any Christian, do they fear the Lord in whatever understanding they have of it, whether it means just respecting him or literally being afraid of him, they'll say yes, right?
Yes, sir.
So this says, whoso fears the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid, for he, the Lord, is his hope. If you hope in the Lord, you're not supposed to be walking around here scared. You're not supposed to be walking around here afraid. And you're definitely not supposed to be fear mongering. That's what y'all are doing. Check out this website right here, Josh. They're doing this.
I saw one TikTok with this dude. He was spreading this video saying that the Euphrates River dried up and that this was filling Bible prophecy, but the river that drew was drying up wasn't even the Euphrates River. Someone exposed it. They were like, bro, that's not even the Euphrates River, the one, and they found the original link to what he was talking about. And it's like, people today even lie on prophecy.
Exactly, just to scare you, just to make you afraid. Every little thing that happened in the news, oh, it's a sign. Then they jump on social media and they make a video or they make a TikTok or whatever, or they're spreading all these posts. All for what? What happened in Miami, whatever that is they saw, if they saw anything. I know they had to see something, all those police cars out there, Gideon, right? But whatever it was, what can Brother Josh do about it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing I can do about it. You got people trying to become sovereign. Oh, I'm going to denounce my citizenship in the United States. Why are you doing that? I'm trying to get off the grid. You are an idiot. You can't escape these people. You can't escape this government. You can't escape this world. You got cameras everywhere.
They'll find
You cannot get away. You got people thinking that they can run from this. You are in this. I remember when I was going to my old church, people used to say things like, the mark of the beast, that's going to happen. And it is. That's true. Because I already got my passport. I'm like, you idiot. Do you think your passport is going to matter in the Antichrist system? You think he's going to say, well, your passport from the old way of doing things is still valid. Go ahead and go wherever you want to go. No. They're going to revoke everything and start anew in that system. Y'all know that. But you're so scared now, you don't already went and bought a passport that's going to be useless when all this stuff pop off. You had the people telling you America is Babylon and it's about to be destroyed. And all these idiotic black Hebrews ran from the country, left their families behind, left their jobs. Nothing happened. They were telling you 1999, 2000, America going to be destroyed. Nothing happened. Spreading that fear. They have been spreading it for decades. Then nothing happened. I can go on and on about people who scared people with false predictions, conspiracy theories, and rumors, and people lost things behind that. It ain't just an embarrassed face that you always end up with when this stuff is wrong, Gideon. Sometimes you lose your livelihood. Sometimes you even lose your life. You got coats that don't scare people so bad about things that are going to come, they convince everybody to just kill themselves now. That's fear mongering, y'all. That's Satan. You're working for the devil. The devil wants us walking around here. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? I don't worry about that stuff, y'all, because I can't change it. I remember I had this kid, because I got this big brother program I work with. His name was Dexter, and we used to call him the what if kid because he would always go to the adult volunteers with a what if situation. And he would come to me the most because, he was one of my favorite kids, right? This was years ago, He should be like in his early 30s now, right? And he'll say, he's the type talk real slow, but don't get it twisted. He was the most intelligent kid I had, both common sense and academically. Like, there was a straight A student, but we'd always make fun of how he used to talk because he used to talk real slow. And he'll say, Ted, I'm like, what? What would you do if the world blew up? Like, okay, what would I do if the world blew up? Yeah. Said, I guess I die with everybody else. You follow what I'm saying? But he's always come with these weird what ifs that you can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying, Gideon?
Yeah.
He always did that. Now, he was a kid, So, I cut him some slack. But I always tell him, like, Dexter, these what ifs you come up with, bro, like, you got to give me a way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you already know what would happen if the world blew up. Like, he's like, what would you do if the world blew up? Dude, I'd blow up with it. I mean, what do you want me to say?
I'll be right there with you.
Exactly. We're going to all die. I mean, what do you want me to do? But this is what these fearmongers do. They send you a bunch of what if scenarios with these theories. Like, what if? Like, what if it was a conspiracy behind this nationwide Amber Alert test? What if they really were trying to kill people that took the vaccination? What would that mean for you if you avoided that? You think if they were really trying to do something like that, that would be their last attempt? Do you really think if people are trying to do some of the stuff y'all come up with, you will know about it? Do you think they got that many loose lips among these people who are conspiring against us? Y'all think they got that many loose lips? Really? Some of y'all walking around with stuff that happened to y'all when y'all was a kid and y'all ain't told nobody. And you in your 50s. But you don't think people who are literally paid and trained to be quiet can keep a secret. But you can keep a secret though, Gideon. Just because. Off GP, you can keep a secret, Gideon. I guarantee you some stuff you did right now as a kid, Gideon, that you ain't even never told your mama or your daddy. And you don't ever plan on telling them that. But y'all don't believe trained officials can keep a secret. And then the people who are telling you all these conspiracy theories to scare you, they don't even tell you how they know. Oh, this is just what I believe. You're just trying to scare me, man. It's a scare tactic. A lot of us are falling for scare tactics, Gideon. This is crazy. You're spreading anxiety. You suffer from anxiety. You want me to be scared with you. You remember on the old Scooby-Doo cartoons, Gideon? You remember the old Scooby-Doo cartoons?
Yeah.
Like, whenever Shaggy or Scooby got afraid, they jumping on each other and they're hugging each other and shivering together. That's what you want to do, right? You want somebody to hug up on and shiver and shake with you. That's why, did you ever notice who was the most unpopular character on Scooby-Doo? Do you know who it was?
Probably Velma.
Nope.
Really?
It wasn't any of the main cast. It was any of the main cast. It was a dog they introduced later on. Scrappy Doo.
Yeah. He was the most
You know
unpopular?
what? Yes, he's hated. That's why when they did the first live action Scooby-Doo movie, spoiler alert, by the way, it's an old movie, so you probably saw it. They made him end up being the villain because long before the movie came out, it was a general consensus online that everybody hated Scrappy Doo. But do you know why everybody hated Scrappy Doo?
Why?
Gideon? Because he was annoying. Do you know why they consider him annoying? Because he was not afraid of any of that crap. Go back and watch all the old Scooby-Doo. Scrappy Doo was not afraid of, he trying to throw hands with these fake monsters,
Because
right?
he knew it wasn't real.
Right. It didn't say if he knew it was real or not. He just didn't care.
Mm.
And he's the most unpopular character. But the ones who are always afraid, Shaggy and Scooby used to try to convince Scrappy. That was his nephew, by the way. He was trying to convince him to be scared with him. And Scrappy wasn't hearing that, even though he had a lot of respect for Scooby. In fact, he thought Scooby was brave. That's how naive he was. Right? But a ghost pop up, he throw them hands up like, what you want to do? What you want to do? Scooby would snatch him up by the collar and run and make him, carry him away. Right? But that's the most unpopular character. Because he broke the dynamic of the show, Gideon. The dynamic of the show is everybody runs from these people. Even Fred and the rest of the gang would run from them until they started getting clues that they weren't really monsters or ghosts, right? But long before they got any clues, Scrappy be up there like, what? And that's why nobody likes him, because he didn't fall into the fear mongering.
Here.
Yeah.
I got a clip right here. So here they're running. Yeah, they're running here, running.
They're running from a volcano. See, you just got to the point where they first had the thing run up on them. You need to find where they first approached them. Hello, what's Scrappy Doo doing now? Like he's running back. He's running toward it, right?
Yeah. And then,
hold up.
Oh yeah, he's scrapping.
Look what he just did. Now, notice how everybody else running from it. He done ran it all the way up to the volcano and threw it in. Now look at Scooby and Shaggy standing there, scared out their mind. Look at that. Scared out their mind. And there's plenty of other examples of him trying to do that and they wouldn't let him do it. I never even seen that episode. This is Proverbs chapter 3, 21 to 26. Let's show you what it says here. Go ahead and read, please.
My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion.
Now, read it again. That's
discretion. My bad.
Let's start it over. Mm-hmm.
This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 21. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion.
So he's telling you to keep sound wisdom and discretion, right? This is what you don't want to let depart from your eyes. Sound wisdom and discretion. And it also talks about knowledge and wisdom as well, right? But keep reading.
So shall they be life unto thy soul and grace to your neck.
That's what sound wisdom and discretion will be. Go ahead.
Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble.
Then shall you walk in your way safely, and your foot shall not stumble. That means you will not fall. This is talking about, like, metaphorically speaking. But continue. Watch what else it says.
When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet.
It says, when you lie down, you shall not be afraid. Yes, you shall lie down, and your sleep shall be sweet. So if you're keeping sound wisdom and discretion, which Proverbs chapter 3 and the whole chapter, the whole book of Proverbs will tell you is based on God's commandments and the wisdom that they give. If you lie down, you will not be afraid. That's the same thing that C-Rock was telling us about. This is 7 times more on sinners being afraid. Because if you're sinning, you're not keeping sound wisdom and discretion. So if you're lying down and you're afraid, like you going to bed at night, you heard about, I heard about this on the news, and I heard about this Amber Alert stuff, and I heard about the 5G and COVID, and ain't nobody confirmed any of this stuff. You're not keeping sound wisdom and discretion. You out here still sinning. That's why you can't sleep. You ever heard the phrase, Gideon, that sleepiness is the sign of a guilty conscience?
I never heard that.
You can look that up. They say if you can't sleep, one of the reasons people can't sleep is because they have a guilty conscience, meaning they've done something wrong. And that guilt is keeping them up. Maybe that's why you can't sleep. You're walking around here afraid. But the Bible says that if you keep sound wisdom and discretion, not only will you lie down and not be afraid, your sleep will be sweet. Remember we read earlier in C-Rock how I said that it's natural for people to be afraid and that the guy can't sleep. He's always waking up on watch. Remember that?
Yeah.
This right here is telling you that if you're keeping sound wisdom and discretion, that won't be you. Because you're not walking around here afraid. You're not anxious. You're not suffering from anxiety. But we do it to ourselves, Gideon. We go places online and listen to people scare us and inflict us with fear and anxiety. And then we wonder why we can't sleep at night. We wonder why we can't function during the day because we've been crippled by fear. That's what Satan wants you to do. And if you notice too, Gideon, have you noticed that this fear is being associated with the wicked?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it was talking about the sinner and C-Rock.
Exactly. It's 7 times more on the sinner who walking around here afraid like that. And fear spreads fear. Keeping sound wisdom and discretion, if you read all of Proverbs chapter 3, it's telling you it's based on keeping the commandments, obeying God. This is why a lot of people walk around here scared. You're not living right. You're still living in your sins. That's why you don't have that peace. You don't fear the Lord. You fear man. Every time you turn around, you're afraid of what some man plotting. You think everybody's out to get you. You think you're never safe. Everything scares you. Technology even scares you. Not weapons technology, just technology in general. Oh, we got 5G. They're going to try to use that to get us. Really?
Now, that Neuralink's kind of scary, though. That Neuralink.
What's the Neuralink?
Where they're going to put, like, the chip in your head and...
Well, that's natural. Any surgery always has a tinge of fear associated with it. Any kind of surgery, bro. It don't got anything to do with them trying to use your body to advance some kind of technology, bro, a lot of people are naturally and logically afraid of any kind of surgery, especially the kind where you got to get put all the way under. Wouldn't you be afraid if they tried to put something in your head to stop a brain tumor from growing? Would it be any less fearful for that reason, Gideon? Because that's surgery. But you ain't got any reason to be afraid of a neural link if you don't plan on getting the implant. Why would you be afraid of that? So you're talking about people who's actually considering the implant. That's natural. People who get what they call cosmetic surgery, there's usually a little fear involved with it. Like people that get like these breast implants and stuff like that. You think when women go there, they don't have any kind of fear? There's going to be a little fear associated with all surgery, unless you've had the surgery done so many times, you become numb to it. Don't even bother you anymore. That's natural. But 5G, why would that make you afraid? Because people making up stuff about what it would do. Yes, let's come up with something, a form of technology that's going to kill off all the people who we want to pay for this technology. You're advertising 5G. Why, Gideon? Because you want people to buy it and make money. These people want our money. You think they're going to kill off their customers? You kill off your customers, you don't make any money. Use your head, sisters and brothers. Don't even think about that. Even with slavery, Gideon, slave masters rarely killed their slaves. Sometimes the movies exaggerate a little bit, makes it like they was killing their slaves. No, they didn't. That was their money. You kill a slave, you lose money. That slave had to be useless, rebellious, stubborn, and just completely uncontrollable for a slave master to consider killing the slave. But they show money. And no smart businessman ever throws away money. You understand what I'm saying, Gideon?
Yes, sir.
So if something is associated with making money, it ain't about to kill you, bro. They need you. They want you to pay that extra $10 a month because you got 5G now. See, didn't nobody tell me that when I got this iPhone, Gideon. I had to learn that from the store. My bill went up $10 extra a month just because I got 5G. See, they didn't tell me that. And I mean, ain't no big deal, but that's just more confirmation. Yo, they want my money for this 5G. And they did it to everybody who upgraded to 5G. They did it to everybody. They don't want you dead. Don't think dead they want from you or them dead presidents on your money. That's the only thing they want from you because they making money off of it. But you got these fear mongers going around, got you thinking, Gideon, that they want to kill you with the 5G. No, it's all about money, y'all. But when you're afraid, you don't think rationally, do you, Gideon?
At all.
And they want you irrational. Do you know what the point of terrorism is?
Strike fear.
Terrorism, that's the point. That is it. Not to kill people. That's just a byproduct of it. The point of terrorists, it's in the name, cause terror. That's why they call them terrorists. People associate terrorism with death. That's just the side effect of it. The whole point of terrorists is to strike fear. And guess what, Gideon? A lot of people walking around to this day call themselves Christians. You're really terrorists. That's what you are. You're terrorists. See, y'all think terrorist means trying to hurt somebody. No. Look up the word terrorist, Gideon. Let's pull it up.
Says a person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims.
Now, why is it that the word terrorist, which comes from the word terror, what does that got to do with violence? Do you have to be violent to cause terror?
No.
No, you don't. You can watch a scary movie and that will terrify you. Nobody did anything to you. Now look at what the etymology of terrorist. Look that up.
All right, this is ABTMonline.com, and it says in terrorist in the modern sense, 1944, especially in reference to Jewish tactics against the British in Palestine. Earlier, it was used of extremist revolutionaries in Russia who attempted to demoralize the government by terror. Jacobins
demoralize the government by terror. Now, what is terror, Gideon?
To strike fear.
Strike fear. And I hope everybody listening is smart enough to know you do not have to physically harm anybody to strike fear. It only became associated with violence, Gideon, is because violence is the tool most terrorists use to strike fear. That's why they made it associated with violence. But a terrorist, plainly speaking, in its most literal sense, is simply anybody who causes or spreads terror. That's all it is. You are terrorists. Christians, all these conspiracy theories, y'all are terrorists. Y'all trying to terrify us. That's what you're trying to do. See, nobody thinks of it like this, Gideon. I'm just looking at words and what they mean. You do not have to use violence to terrify somebody. You don't. You can just make stuff up. And that's what fear mongers do. They try to terrorize you. But now let's go back to it. We're still in Proverbs. Okay, read verse 25. Look what it says.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh.
It said, be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. So it's telling them, don't be afraid of sudden fear. That means something that suddenly happens that can cause fear. It tells us don't be afraid of that. And it said, neither of the destruction of the wicked when it comes. Don't be afraid about that either. Why should we be afraid of the destruction of the wicked? Because if we're living righteous, we wouldn't have to be afraid of the destruction of the wicked. But it said sudden fear. That means stuff that you didn't see coming. Right, Gideon?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of that. That means if it just sneak up on you, don't be afraid of it. And you got people afraid of stuff that they claim people have been planning for decades. We're not even supposed to be afraid of the surprise. It's what your book tells you to do. So God is telling us, don't be afraid, but you got people who claim to worship God telling you to be afraid. Again, are you a fearmonger? Are you really trying to warn people about stuff they can avoid or prevent? Or are you just scaring them? Because if I can't avoid or prevent it, why are you telling me about it? Like, what do you want me to do? Well, there's nothing you can do, Josh. Why are you telling me about it? Oh, you just want me to be scared. Let me ask you a question. Were you afraid when you read it or heard about it? Yeah. So why are you telling me about it? Oh, so you want me to ball up and be scared with you. You want me to pull a Scooby-Doo and Shaggy where we hug up and be shivering and shaking together. That's what you want, right? You know, cartoons do that a lot too, Gideon. It ain't just Scooby-Doo that does that. You know, when they be scared, the characters will hug each other and start shaking together. See, that's what they want. They want somebody to shake and shiver with. That's what fear mongers like to do. They have no solution.
Partner.
Yes, they want a fear mongering partner, a fear buddy. That's what they want.
Like the one, the thing in Ted when it was lightning and Ted and them, they hopped in the bed and they were shivering together.
Mm-hmm. That's what they want. Want somebody to shiver under the covers with them. Somebody to cower with. That's so messed up. And you know that's all they want because there are no solutions. And even the ones that offer fake solutions, like doing that nationwide Amber Alert test, telling people to wrap their cell phones in aluminum foil, turn off all your appliances. They actually had people doing that. I did not do any of that. In fact, just to show how unafraid I was, I took my second cell phone out and turned it on with my regular cell phone. I'm twice as not scared. Nothing happened at all. Zero. Well, it only happened to people that had the COVID vaccination. You know how many people had the COVID vaccination that didn't hear your little scare tactic and they're still here? It was somebody on Facebook claiming that. Some sister, I ain't gonna put her name out there. When it didn't happen, she was on there halfway apologetic. But at least she did acknowledge that nothing happened. And she was spreading it tough. Should have screenshotted it. Not to show anybody later, like, publicly, but just to show, like you, Gideon. But you know what she said? Because the pride would just let her just be like, you know what? My bad entirely. She was like, well, they didn't do anything this time. Oh, get out of here with this time crap. But no, they were never planning to do anything. Not with that. And you just heard something and you just went online and you just started scaring everybody else. And this sister claimed to be this devout believer in the Most High. But yet you want to scare his children for no reason.
You're offending the children.
Exactly. In another class, we're going to show you that not only was fear not allowed if you want to be a part of the Israelite army, but also if you joined and you were afraid, they court-martialed you. They kick you out. They told you to go home. God don't want any scared soldiers, and we are soldiers of Christ. He don't want any scared soldiers in his army. All y'all do is spread fear about everything, conspiracy theories, stuff going on in the government. Again, nothing wrong with staying updated with the news. But every time any little thing happens out of the ordinary, y'all jumping on social media trying to scare everybody else as if we can do something about it. What are we going to do? That's what I want to know. Then somebody finally wises up and say, well, maybe we should pray to the Lord. Exactly, because that's the only person that can save us from some of the stuff y'all describing. Some of the stuff they describing, Gideon, nobody but God can get us out of it.
Yeah.
But you ain't telling us to pray. You telling us just to be afraid. Be very afraid. Go on with all that. Don't send me any fear-mongering material if you don't have a real solution of how to avoid it or get around it. And if you do have a real solution, first confirm that it's something I really need to truly be afraid of. Because they'll give you a solution that, in theory, if what they're saying is true, might help you, but you still haven't proven that this is actually going to happen. So you got me taking precautions for stuff that's not even real. All because you're afraid. All because you're afraid. You're watching too many movies. That's another thing too, Gideon. People watching too many movies, watching too many TV shows, and they starting to believe that this stuff is real. They can't separate fact from fantasy. A lot of y'all are borderline delusional because you're so afraid. It's not that you're just crazy. You've been driven mad with fear. That's what they call it. You can be driven crazy with fear. You're not even thinking straight now. You think everybody out to get you, right? Everybody's out to get you. And it's also a little conceited too, Gideon, because a lot of people think the government after them, and they are literally nobody. Like, why would the government be after you, brother? You work at Popeyes. What they want you for?
He knows the recipe. He knows how to make
You
it
know
that
what I'm
good.
saying? Right. I'm like, you work at Popeyes, bro. You ain't a threat to nobody. Your YouTube videos get 50 views every 3 months. You ain't a threat to anybody. That's what be killing me. Like, you think they're after you, and you're not even really doing anything. Some of the conspiracy theories they come up with to scare you with, Gideon, you just got to ask yourself, okay, let's just entertain for 1 second that this is true. Why would they want me? Why would they want Gideon? Why would they want you, bro? You're not a threat to the system. You're not a threat. You're not even doing anything. There are literally billions of people who've never heard of you. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You got an insignificant job that don't nobody care about. You're not a secret agent or anything. You're just an average dude. You ain't even made enough noise to even get their attention. Some of y'all are such nobody that even the FBI will say, who? If they brought up your name. And they supposed to know who everybody are. You know you're a nobody if the FBI agent, when you bring up their name, like, who? That's how much of a nobody you are to them. I didn't say in the sight of the Most High, y'all. I'm talking about to this system. You're such a nobody, nobody even recognizes your name if they were to bring your name up. Can you imagine, like, the FBI, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of the agents starts suspecting me, and they be like, yeah, we need to keep tabs on Brother Josh. Who is he? You know, who is he? He must be new. No, actually, he's been, teaching for 20 years plus. And I'm just now hearing about him. That's what the other agent's saying. Meaning, I haven't been under surveillance. Why? Because I'm a nobody. But if I've been doing this for 20 years, if I was a threat, soon as they bring my name up, oh, yes, him again.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 26. For the Lord shall be your confidence, as shall keep your foot from being taken.
It said, for the Lord shall be your confidence and shall keep your foot from being taken. Remember, we read earlier in verse 23, then shall thou walk in thy way safely, and your foot shall not stumble. Metaphorically, meaning you're not going to stumble because you're so afraid. You're not going to fall and stumble from fear. So it says your foot shall not be taken because you're going to have your confidence in the Lord. A lot of y'all feet were taken a long time ago. You ain't got no feet left because you're not walking in confidence with the Lord. You don't fell over. You know how when people faint, they literally fall?
Yeah.
Gideon, that's what that's talking about. Like, y'all done fainted a long time ago. And speaking of fainted, let's deal with that. Let's go now back to Sirach chapter 2.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 12. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways.
Did you notice that it's associating the sinner with those who have fearful hearts and faint hands? And it's and the sinner that goeth two ways. You know what I mean when it says a sinner that goes two ways?
No, sir.
It ain't talking about bisexual, by the way. It ain't talking about that.
No, I don't know what it means.
Think about it, Gideon. A recent video that I uploaded.
Oh, being double-minded?
Yes, but a double mind will make you have Double what?
Double what? Like two ways, different ways?
Two ways, exactly.
Split
2
personality?
ways. Yes. But it's not saying like split personality per se. It's like, you're a double mind. So 1 minute you're trying to act like you're righteous, and the next minute you're wicked.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say, and the sinner that goes 2 ways. It also can mean like you don't have one path. Like you're over here and you're over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's talking about. But notice it associated that kind of person with fearful hearts and faint hands. It's another way of also saying you're all over the place. Like you're going this way and you're going that way. You're going to the left. You're going to the right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people do when they are afraid. But it said, woe be to those people. What does it mean when it said woe be to somebody, Gideon? Destruction, trouble. To what kind of people? People who have fearful hearts and faint hands. You know what faint hands mean?
No, sir.
That means your hands are so weak from trembling of fear, you can't even do anything. You ever seen somebody so afraid they can't even hold anything? Like they pick up something, they drop it.
Dang. Wow.
Like, so you can't fight because your hands are faint. And when they talk about something faint, that means it's like it's weak.
Mm.
That's why you faint, like you fall out. You follow what I'm saying? Faint hands, like your hands are trembling so much you can't even pick up the sword to fight. You can't even ball a fist and fight. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's what they want you to do. They want you to have fearful hearts and faint hands and be all over the place.
All over it. Coming back for more.
And coming back for more. Wow. Read verse 13.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended.
It said, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he does not believe. But don't believe who? In the Lord. If you are faint-hearted, it's just like this is saying you're an atheist. Fearmongers are atheists because they're telling people, be afraid. God can't save you. And if you believe God can't save you, then you don't believe in God. It said, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Ain't it funny that the very people who are trying to scare you about stuff and making you scared, it's telling you your fear is going to be the reason why you don't be defended. So your fear is going to make you get caught. Whatever they're planning, if they are planning anything, when it happens and you're all scared and you don't believe in the Lord, you're going to be the one that get caught up because you don't have any faith in the Lord. You're just scared. But let me show you what this word faint-hearted means, Gideon. Let's go again to dictionary.cambridge.org, and we're going to look up the word faint-hearted. And then we're going to look up some synonyms for it.
Faint-hearted on CambridgeDictionary.org. Someone who is faint-hearted is not confident or brave and dislikes taking unnecessary risks.
Someone who is faint-hearted is not confident or brave and dislikes taking unnecessary risks. Read the synonyms below it. What does it say?
Synonyms: chicken, cowardly.
You're a chicken. Cowardly.
Craven.
Mm-hmm.
Lily-livered.
That's an old school word. They'll say that back in the day. Like I was like, you're lily-livered. You follow what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna even try that one.
It's
pusillanimous.
Pusillanimous. There you go. Mm-hmm. What else?
Hey, man, you gotta be a different type of coward to be called that. That's
exactly
timid.
If you look at the first few syllables of that word, you'll understand why somebody calls you another P word if you're afraid.
Dang.
It's actually pronounced pusillanimous. But go ahead.
Timorous. Weak-kneed. Yellow.
You know they call you yellow. I know you heard that before.
I haven't heard that. I heard like, man, this dude's like white, like he lost all his color. He's going pale.
They say you're so scared. They say you're so scared you turn pale. Yellow is a reference to chickens, right?
I never heard that. Nah.
You ever seen Back to the Future?
Nah, that's before my time.
It really is. Well, that's a real common word. They call you yellow. It's just another way of saying chicken because chickens were considered yellow. You see the little chicks, the little Easter chicks, the little marshmallow chicks.
Yeah.
They're yellow.
Yes, sir.
So That's a reference to chicken. So they're like, you're yellow, you're chicken. That's what that is. But
Mm.
notice all the synonyms for it, refer to somebody being a coward or being afraid. Now, do me a favor, Gideon. Go right back to that verse and where you see the word faint-hearted in verse 13, substitute the word coward there and read it.
Yes, sir. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted. Oh, woe unto him that is a coward. For he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended.
Now, it said that's a coward. Now, you got that other apocrypha handy?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Read it in there. Let's see how it reads there.
So this is the Apocrypha, the Revised English Bible by Cambridge. Woe to the faint hearts and nerveless hands. Ooh, it says nerveless hands.
What kind of hands? Well, hold on. What did I just describe to you?
Like,
how did I say?
weak.
And how did I demonstrate with you? Did
Like
you
you
see
can't
what
even
I was
hold
doing
something up.
Because your hands are doing what?
Shaking.
That doesn't. And don't people shake when they get nervous?
Yeah.
That's why I said like nervous, like you're doing like that. You can't even hold anything. You can't even ball the fist.
It was
But what else is there?
nerveless, not nervous, nerveless.
That means you have no nerve.
Yeah.
So nerveless means you have no nerve.
Yes, sir.
Now people say you don't have any nerve. So not nervous, but nerveless. And
Yes, sir.
nervous is a form of being nerveless sometimes. Right?
Yes, sir.
But go ahead.
And to the sinner who leads a double life.
The sinner who does what? Lead a what?
Who leads a double life.
Remember I told you it can mean that, like double-minded. So you have a double life. Like you're righteous 1 minute and you're wicked the next. A double life. We ain't even going to say who directly fits the bill on that. Right?
The Hannah Montana life.
Right. He probably don't believe the Apocrypha anyway. So whatever. But the Bible lets you know the same thing. Right? And a double life. Right? So, but keep reading. What else it says, verse 13?
Woe to the feeble-hearted. They have no faith and therefore will go unprotected.
They have no faith, the feeble-hearted. Feeble means weak, by the way. So woe unto the weak-hearted, for he has no faith and therefore will not be protected. Do y'all see how this works? Satan wants you afraid because if you're afraid, the Most High is not going to protect you. Because if you're afraid, that means you don't believe in the Most High. So these people who are spreading fear to stop you from being protected by God. You see how dangerous fear-mongering is now, Gideon?
Really dangerous.
It's really satanic. You want me so scared that I don't even believe there's a God that can protect me anymore. And if I don't believe God will protect me, he will not protect me. And you think you're doing a service to your brothers and sisters as a Christian by spreading fear unnecessarily? You can't even confirm this stuff. And you're just scaring us. You are the enemy. You are a terrorist. You want me nervous? You want me anxious? You want me sleepless? That's another thing too, Gideon. If you lose a lot of sleep and try to function, what will happen to you, Gideon?
Not going to function at full capacity.
You're not going to function at full capacity. All of this is meant to cripple you, incapacitate you. That's what fearmongers do.
Yes, sir.
And you go on social media and the number one fearmongers, so-called Christians.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's move on. Let's go to Luke 12 and verse 22 to 25.
So this is Luke chapter 12, verse 22. And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. Now
look what he told them in Luke chapter 12 and verse 22. He said, let me turn here real quick. It says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. So he told you, take no thought for that. Now, what I want you to do is go to the NIV and read the same thing, Luke 12 and 22. This is Jesus talking. Look what he's telling his disciples.
This is Luke chapter 12, verse 22 in the NIV translation. And it reads, then Jesus said to his disciples, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear.
Now look what he said. Do not worry. See, when you have anxiety, you're always worried about something. You're always afraid of something. Notice that Jesus was not a fearmonger. Jesus taught us, don't be afraid. Don't walk around here worrying. Read the same thing in the CSB.
This is the CSB translation of Luke 12:22. Then he said unto his disciples, therefore I tell you, don't worry about your life, what you will eat, or about the body, what you will wear.
Now he said, don't worry. Again, notice that the different translations all agree that it's saying, don't worry. But they translated, don't worry. What we're going to do, though, Gideon, we're going to go to the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, and we're going to look up the word translated worry in this verse, in Luke 12:22. And the word is Miriam Nao. Miriam Nao. And it says from Greek 3308, to be anxious about. Be, have, care, careful, take thought. What does it mean to be anxious about something in this context?
Worrying.
Gideon. Worrying. And anxious and anxiety have similar roots. It's a form of being worried or being afraid about something. He's telling us, don't worry about it. Don't be afraid about it, right? Now let's go back to the King James. Yes, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. One verse. Watch what it says. Go ahead.
For God have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Notice that the absence of the spirit of fear produces a sound mind. A sound mind means a clear mind, a mind that's not crazy. Why? Because when you have the spirit of fear, you don't have a sound mind. You're not rational. You're not logical. And that's what the spirit of fear causes. But it says, God have not given us the spirit of fear. So if you have the spirit of fear on you, Gideon, who did it come from?
Satan.
Satan. But it said, God has not given us the spirit of fear. If you have it on you, you got it from Satan. And that's what fearmongers want to do. They want to give you the spirit of fear. That's why they're always trying to scare you. That's why they're always, look at this, look at that. Look what they're doing over here. Look what they're doing over there. What can I do about this? Nothing.
At all.
Do you even have any concrete evidence that this is definitely the case? No, it's just a theory. I believe it's, and you're scared. They got you scared out of your mind. But God has not given us the spirit of fear. And you got a lot of scared Christians running around here. Oh, the world's going to end later on this year in 2024. And they said the same thing in 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. You keep going all the way back.
I remember the last one was like 2012 was when I really remembered it.
Exactly.
That Mayan calendar.
And I was trying to tell
buying into it.
Yes. You a Christian and you believe in some ancient pagan Mayan calendar? You know the Mayans were pagans, right, Gideon?
Yeah. Yeah, they sacrificed babies.
Exactly. Yet the Christians are afraid of what some pagan civilization who were so sorry they were literally wiped out of existence. You know the Mayans don't exist. No Mayan descendants today that we can identify.
Really?
Well, yes. That's what makes the Mayan civilization so special. You follow what I'm saying? It's a dead civilization, like people, artifacts, everything, city, everything about it. But we supposed to believe them though. They supposed to. Maybe they had the calendar upside down because if they already are obliterated and annihilated, like from existence, maybe that came to pass in their time. Y'all ever thought about that? Because they the ones who not around today. And I was telling people back then, ain't nothing gonna happen. Hollywood capitalized on the fear, made a movie.
2012. I remember.
Yep. Everybody walking around here scared. That's what Satan loves to do. He loves to cripple you with fear. That's another reason why people like the hip hop culture, because gangsters are not supposed to be afraid. I don't know if you remember that song, I Ain't Never Scared, with Bone Crusher. That's one of my songs.
I know that Eminem one. I'm not afraid to take a stand.
Right. Going against the system or something like that. But that Bone Crusher, man, he was a one-hit wonder. I don't even know if he ever made anything after that. But that was a lot of people jam. And it's amazing that the sinner, in some cases, have more courage than the saint. Because if you really living that thug life and you really living that gang life, dude, your life is in jeopardy all the time from a rival gang.
Or the cops.
And, right. Or the cops and stuff do happen. And they be bold with it sometimes, man. Both on both sides. Some Crips will go right into blood territory, outnumbered. What? Bloods go right into Crips territory, outnumbered. What? Ain't no punks on either side. They know they can die, but they ain't scared. Well, we supposed to be the Christians, and we want to make people scared. That's what we want to do. We want you walking around here scared. Even when I did that class last week, the Great Apostasy. Do you know how many people hit me up in my DM, told me I scared them, Gideon?
You know, maybe
I
it's
wasn't trying.
good. Maybe they need
Yeah,
to
but
get
I,
their
I
life
wasn't
ready.
trying to. Yeah, but I wasn't trying to scare you in the sense of, oh, this is gonna happen the week after next.
It's
That's what
prophecy.
Paul's whole point was. Paul's whole point was this has to happen first. There has to be a great apostasy, a great falling away. That hasn't happened yet. Now, if you saw that happening now, and I did that class, then I can understand that. But chances are you ain't gonna see this in your lifetime. And I'm talking to you, even if you were just born tonight. You probably ain't gonna see it in your lifetime. Everybody thinks everything gonna pop off in their lifetime, Gideon. Because we all want to believe we're gonna be those saints that are alive when God does all of this. It's kind of conceited when you think about it.
They want to be the
We want,
generation.
we want to be, yeah, we want to be the generation.
Trust me, y'all don't want to be that generation.
You really don't. No, I'm cool with Jesus not coming back in my lifetime. I really am. Because if I'm doing right and I die, I'm gonna see him anyway. But I don't know why people think that they're more afraid about that. Dude, real talk, everybody listening right now, you are more than likely to be struck by lightning and die from that than become a casualty in the Great Tribulation. I'm just telling you the truth. And I don't know too many people walking around worried about being struck by lightning. Now that's not to say that you can't die from your faith in this day and time, because that's happening all over the world right now.
Just
But
happened
if
in
you're over here,
Africa.
exactly. But if you're over here in America as an average Christian and you're not really a threat to the system and you just living your life, not too many people gonna be worried about coming after you. They don't care. You ain't bothering them. So we're not spreading fear. But yes, the Bible does talk about scary things. And even then, you're not allowed to be afraid. Now, that doesn't mean you won't get scared. Y'all got to understand what courage is. Courage is not a lack of fear. Courage is being afraid, but still doing what has to be done. That's what courage is. It's overcoming a fear, not having a fear to begin with. You follow what I'm saying? That's what it means. Yeah, you're gonna be afraid if somebody tells you take this mark or we're gonna cut your head off. Yeah, you're gonna be afraid of that, but the courage and the fear you have of the Lord is gonna make you say, "Well, you just got to cut my head off. I'm not taking this mark." That's what it means when it said God has not given us the spirit of fear. You can read plenty of times in the Bible where Paul said he was afraid. And then there were plenty of times when he said that he wasn't in another sense. So I don't want y'all walking around here thinking every time I get afraid, I'm sinning. It means I don't believe. No, that's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is that your fear is not supposed to override your judgment and your confidence in the Lord. You can read where David said, you know, he trusts in the Lord. He will not fear what man will do to him. Sounds brave to me, right, Gideon?
Yeah.
And then in another part of the book of Psalms and other places, I'm in constant fear. Dude, I thought you said you wouldn't fear what man would do to you, bro. You feel me? He would say that, and then he was turning around and end it and saying, "Yet will I trust in the Lord." So he was letting you know that fear is not, courage is not defined as a complete absence of fear. Yes, you're going to be afraid, but you're going to trust in the Lord that He's going to help you overcome that fear. Your fear in the Lord is stronger than your fear of man. So don't walk away from this lesson thinking, "Oh, he's saying that if I'm scared, I don't believe." No, we all get afraid, but we're supposed to have confidence in the Lord more than fear. Let's go to the last one. 1 John 4.
1 John chapter 4, verse 18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
And this love that it's talking about is the love for God. It said there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. Talking about fear of things that can happen to us, right? Because fear has torment. Torment means torture. This is saying that fear tortures you. That's what fear does. It tortures you. A lot of us are tortured by fear, and we're torturing each other, Gideon. You're torturing me, bruh. You're trying to make me afraid. You're torturing me. I thought you loved me. I thought you loved me, bruh. Can't you love me, sister? Why are you torturing me? Why are you torturing your brothers and sisters? With fear. See, you working for the devil. See, the devil wants me afraid. He don't want me to have that no fear because I love God. What that means is, when you love God, you're not walking around here afraid. Fear torments. It said, he that feareth is not made perfect in love. If you walking around here afraid of what these fear mongers are telling you, guess what? You have not been made perfect in your love for the Lord. If you really love God, then you have faith in him, you have confidence in him, and you cast out the fear. But if you are spreading fear, or if you are in a constant state of fear from those who are spreading fear for no logical reason or unnecessarily, then you are not perfect in the love you have with God. So the next time somebody sends you a video or you see a Facebook of Instagram or Instagram post of somebody trying to spread something scary and it's not substantiated, and even if it is, there's nothing you can do about it. If they claim to be a believer, ask them, what's the purpose of you spreading all this fear? Oh, I'm just trying to give you a heads up. How? How can I prevent this? How can I avoid this? Oh, you can't. The next time you come across somebody and you ask them why they're doing it and they answer with those answers, simply show them the information in this class, and tell them they are a fearmonger, and fearmongers work for Satan. We'll see you next time.